Thanks for joining us, guys. So this is Falls from Iron, and we're doing the Three Lions review of that thrilling game from Wembley Stadium yesterday, where England put Scotland to the sword. Oh, hang on. No, that's not quite what happened, was it? That's what I imagined was going to happen, but it didn't quite pan out like that, did it? Um, there you go. To discuss this, I've got two of our regulars in. We've got Andy Miles and we've got Steve 50. So, gentlemen, let's get down to it. Uh, yeah, 0-0 at home in a European Group D match against the old enemy. And I think it's fair to say that let's just put the result aside for a moment and focus on the performance. That was pretty disappointing, I think it's fair to say. Steve, over to you first.
Well, it was abject, wasn't it? I mean, the talent on that pitch to put that sort of performance in. I tell you what, it was a good thing I was on the chat with all of you guys on Hammer's chat.
Mm.
Otherwise, I think I'd have lost the will to live halfway through. I mean,
Gonzo was
discussing.
more entertaining than the match ever was.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, discussing cars and things like that,
Yeah.
actually managed to get me through the game without having to gnaw my left leg off out of boredom. It was, it was awful. I mean, that is a quality side. And I've looked at some of the other sides in the Euros, and player for player, we're as good as any of them, with the exception of France and Belgium, maybe.
Yep.
But if we turn up against Italy, Spain, Portugal, just to name three teams, I think we've got the quality to beat. We turn up and play like that, we are hammered. And I've just watched the Germany game, and Germany had trounced us as well.
Mm.
Uh, I, I had, I've got serious concerns about Harry Kane and how he's been playing.
Oh,
He
yeah.
doesn't look right. He looks injured to me, or something's on his mind. Whether it's the whole Spurs thing or not, I don't know. But he wasn't at it yesterday. But the system that Southgate employed actually made good players look poor. Deck didn't look great because he never passed the ball forward. He always passed it sideways. Now, I'm sorry, but he must have been instructed to do that because I've watched Declan play every match this season, and guess what? He's quite he's quite progressive in the way he plays.
Mm. He
Uh,
only made a marauding run, sort of like right towards the end, didn't he? I mean,
yeah,
that's so unlike the Declan Rice that we've seen this season for West Ham.
yeah, and I just thought it was whatever Southgate had told those players to do, absolutely shackled them, and they just couldn't play in their normal way. And
Mm.
the result was we got that performance. But I've got to take my hat off to Scotland as well.
Absolutely.
They came, they wanted they wanted something out of it, and I tell you what, we were lucky to get away with the nil-nil draw because Scotland had a couple of really good chances.
Well, the
But
save of the match was Jordan Pickford, wasn't it, from
yeah,
O'Donnell in the first
yeah,
half? I mean, that was a super save.
and I actually think we were lucky to get nil-nil. Now you see, I mean, we've had all this build-up, all the pundits saying, "Oh, England can go all the way this time," and I listen to it and I think, here we go again, another tournament. Another load of pundits saying it. I mean, my introduction to international football was when I was 9, watching England trying to beat Poland to get to the 1974 World Cup. Now, that sort of sets the bar pretty low. That was the game Bobby Moore was dropped for. And, who was it who came in? Was it Norman Hunter? Came in and made exactly the same mistake as Moro had for the Polish goal. So, my bar for expectations for England is pretty low, but I think they hit a new low last night. I just thought it was awful. That's all I've
Mm.
got to say on it, really.
Yeah. Milesy, if I just come to you, you look at obviously the England lineup that we went out with and the Scotland lineup. Let's be completely honest here, and I don't want to come across as an arrogant Englishman trying to make excuses. I'm absolutely not. There are none. But fundamentally, you look at our starting 11, you look at their starting 11. Other than Andy Robertson, realistically, who of the Scotland 11 would get into the England starting 11
Probably McTominay.
in
Well, not
place of who?
starting it, not in the starting 11, but the squad. What, like for a squad player?
Yeah, no, I'm talking the
Sorry.
11.
Sorry. My apologies. Yeah, no one really. I'm just so frustrated because you see every other manager. Well, it's going to sound like very silly because only Scotland made 2 subs. Gareth doesn't make changes. We're allowed 5 subs for God's sake. 5 subs. Any Calvert-Lewin? Why weren't he on the pitch or anything like that? I've always said it. He'll get found out. I think the 2018 was the World Cup was good, but I lost respect for him when he picked Harry Maguire and Jordan Henderson. Even going into this tournament, his first interview, he said, "I only pick players on form," and he's done that. So he's a people toxic pleaser.
If he picks people on form, how did Henderson get in, given that he hadn't played for 3 months?
And Maguire, he's not played in the last fuck.
Yeah.
So, no, I've lost all respect for him anyway, to be perfectly honest. He's a media. I remember when he done an interview, was it the night before the game on Thursday with ITV? Yeah. When he done the interview, he's sitting there all smug. And no, fuck him, to be honest. I really can't give 2 shits, to be perfect. Don't want to sound too negative. He's been found out. And fair play to Steve Clarke. The reason why Scotland are where they are is because of him. He's worked under Mourinho, etc. That's the reason why Scotland are in this Euros is because of Steve Clarke, in my opinion. He's a good coach, good manager, but no, the team selection. It's like you don't change a winning side and he changes the fullbacks. Like I wasn't Trippier. Trippier didn't do a foot wrong, did he? Carl Walker never done a foot wrong, and you're getting dropped. I know you can say all that shit about rotation, but they had 5 days rest, 6 days rest.
Yeah.
They should be able to. They all should be able to play. But yeah, I don't even want to talk about Harry Kane. I think Steve's already covered it. Absolute disgrace. He walked around like he was the best player on the pitch and done fuck all.
Yeah, I mean, Happy makes the point here about far too loyal to Sterling. Lingard would have made a massive difference. And again, I come back to it. Jordan Henderson gets picked. He hasn't played a game in 3 months, but he picks on, as you said, form, not reputation. That was Gareth Southgate's words, not mine. He then picks a Jordan Henderson team. Oh, it's for his leadership and his, and I agree with what Roy Keane said. It's like, well, what does he do? Does he do sort of like card tricks? Does he sing songs? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what have you got him there for? Jesse Lingard, 16 games, 9 goals, 5 assists, doesn't make the squad. How are you picking on form, Mr. Manager, and not reputation? And yet you have left a player with that form in the previous 16 league games in the Premier League for a guy that didn't kick a ball in 3 months.
So Rashford, I think that's 1 goal in 18 games in all competitions.
Yeah,
the last 18.
Another one that's bang out of form.
Sterling's that's 2 in 18 or whatever it is as well, because obviously he scored against Croatia. Ollie Watkins, in my opinion, should be in the squad. He can play on the wing as well. Someone with blistering pace and who can make a difference. And the one who really disappointed me the most yesterday was Mason Mount. He really disappointed me. If he was playing for that for Chelsea, he would have been dropped. Do you know what I mean? The way Chelsea manager plays, high press. He walked around the pitch like he was the best player on the pitch as well. Arrogance, absolute arrogance, and I am dreading this Czech Republic game, mate. I'm not going to lie. I think we're going to lose. I'm not going to lie.
I do.
I think we're going to lose.
Well, I watched the Czech Republic yesterday, and all of them. I mean, you've got Souček, Soufal, and 9 other players on that pitch putting in the same level of effort. On the other hand, you've got England who are going to look at them and go, "Oh, we can beat you." It, it's. I find it amazing that. I mean, I text something tongue in cheek to Gatesy earlier on. If I'll quote it: "If at first you don't succeed, then maybe skydiving isn't for you.
Yeah.
But if at first you don't succeed, appoint the same type of England manager who will make exactly the same mistakes, and then you can wonder why it's happening." I mean, we keep putting managers in place who want to be popular with the big teams. The whole reason Ron Greenwood got the job over Brian Clough because Brian Clough was too controversial. But
He'd
the thing
ruffle
with
too
Clough,
many feathers, wouldn't he?
yeah, but he would have won something because that's what Cloughy did. He took, he, I mean, he was an amazing manager. But you go for Ron Greenwood, it's nice and safe. We do
Yeah.
okay-ish in tournaments, and oh well, we'll get better. We'll put this in place. We'll put that in place. You can put all the infrastructure in place if you like, but if the manager and the system aren't brave enough to do what is needed to do, what they need to do, you're still going to get the same things. And that the issue is not so much with that performance, it's more of an endemic problem within the way it's approached. And until we change that, we're going to get this again and again and again.
Yeah. I mean, just to go back on this one here from Neil, I'll just get it back up. Declan absolutely didn't play the same for England as he does for West Ham. And that you'd have to think that that's because he's under orders to play a different role. I know that obviously for West Ham, yes, he does act as a shield, but he goes forwards on occasion. Yesterday, the only time he really got forward was in the last minute when there was that chance that we had, right at the very end. Up to that point, he was purely protecting that back four. That was all he was there for. Here's the thing. I don't know about you guys, but I know they had it down as a 4-3-3. To me, it looked more like the bog standard 4-2-3-1. Whatever. But I didn't really see the point of having, as the game progressed, Phillips and Rice protecting that back four. The fullbacks weren't offering as much width as I think they should have done. They, did you clock it? They weren't really pushing up and getting down the flanks as much as I think the fullbacks need to if you've got two sitting midfielders. If you've got two sitting midfielders in Phillips and Rice, those fullbacks need to be providing the width. They didn't. They were sort of like, do we go? Do we stay? What are we doing? Now that to me has to come from the manager.
Yeah. Gatesy, to be honest, Scotland done what West Ham do, in your face, high press. That's what I'm saying. But with the quality what's on show, like, yeah, Luke Shaw, the fullbacks were ineffective. Reece James, all he done was headed. I think the ball was going wide anyway. In my opinion, that's all we done. Offered us nothing, and that ball for Kane, that was it. But where'd you start?
Yeah.
Stone should have scored that header. Maybe if that goes in, a different game. But no, the crowd didn't play their part either, in my opinion.
But then again, it's one of those things. You know how it is sometimes, Andy. It's a chicken and egg. The crowd, it's kind of difficult for the crowd to give support sometimes when they're watching a performance as insipid as what was served up. Do you know what I mean? And I understand. Like I say, it's a chicken and egg. The crowd are sort of like maybe a bit quiet because the team are crap, but then the team maybe get a bit of a boost if the crowd give them a bit more support. Do you know what I mean? It's difficult. I get that. But I mean, just to go to this point that Neil says about if we finish second, don't we have to play the winners of the other group? I think actually, if we win the group, we get the runners up of the Portugal, France, Germany, Hungary group, don't we? If we
Yeah.
win, if
Yeah.
we win the group, so I don't know who we get if we finish second. I think if we finish second, see, this is the theory that I've heard people trotting out that, oh, Southgate's trying to finish second because it's an easier route to the final, if you will. A bit like when we finished runners up behind Belgium at the last World Cup, and obviously it opened up a slightly easier path to navigate
Yeah. Yeah.
towards the final than would otherwise have been the case. But the problem is, for me, is that in that situation, we finished second in the group to Belgium because we were the second best team in the group. Now, in my
Mm.
opinion, I think we are the best team in that group today, in
Yeah.
the Euros right now.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's a very dangerous game. If Gareth Southgate is trying by design to finish second, do you know, it's like playing for a draw. Really dangerous tactic, and it could come unstuck.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if we come second, okay, we'll probably get an easier game in the round of 16. But I was talking to James about this earlier, and he said to me, "Yeah, we might get an easier game in the 16, but it's highly likely we'll get France in the quarters."
Mm,
You know, so who would you
brilliant.
rather have, Portugal or
Yeah.
Germany in the
Mind you, they didn't
16,
look
or
great
France in
today
the quarters?
themselves against Hungary, Steve.
No, they
The
didn't, did they?
French.
No, I thought the Hungarians were superb. Actually, I loved watching that. I loved watching them. It was fantastic. Just the effort that
Mm.
they put in to nullify what is a really good French side. But Foshuzi, he got the best out of Pence.
But the one thing what I will say is, I know we're not going to so we can sort of mention it. The system has to change against the Czechs. The system has
He
to
won't
change.
know, will he? He won't. He
And
won't. Do you know what
Kane
Do you
will
know what I want
start.
to see? I'd love to see two up top, because I don't know about. I mean, we've discussed it. Kane, and this is not me as a West Ham fan bashing Harry Kane, the Tottenham player. This is me as an England fan looking at England's best goal scorer at this present time and the captain. So whether he likes it or not, he is the standard bearer. Okay, he sets the standard. So at the minute, the standard is pretty damn low because
Yeah.
his performances in these last two games has been very, very poor. Now, I don't know, is it an injury he's carrying? Is his head all over the place because of all this transfer talk, and all the rest of it that's sort of rumbling on in the background? Is there something else that's going on? I don't know, but the end result is these last two performances, he's been absolutely pitiful. Now, for me, let's have a look at Jack Grealish. Now, Jack Grealish has had 27 minutes in this tournament. Harry Kane has started both matches. Now, if Jack Grealish had started two consecutive games in a tournament and put in a performance like what Harry Kane has put in, do you honestly think that he'd be starting the third game?
No, of course he wouldn't. Not a chance. But I also think there's something else, Harry Kane. Harry Kane needs to take a look in the mirror. And if he is injured and he's trying to play through an injury, he needs, as the captain, to turn around and say, "Look, I'm just not fit enough for this. For the good of the team, you need to drop me." I don't think he will. But if that's the case, he has a responsibility to the team as a whole. I'm not good enough to start at the moment. And if he is carrying a knock, and he knows his performances haven't been up to it, and he hasn't turned around and said that, I would be hugely disappointed, because that would not be a team mentality. That would be a me mentality.
We
Yeah.
And if you look at the Germans today against Portugal, they won that as a team. With worse sides than this England side, Germany have put out, and they've won tournaments because they all drive at it together. There isn't an ego in there. and I just wonder if ego has something to do with what's gone on. Sorry,
I don't.
Andy, you were going to say.
No, I don't think it's ego, Steve. I just think it's arrogance. They just think, yeah, I'm going to start. I'm going to start every week. Doesn't matter how good I play. My name's Harry Kane. Who's going to drop me? I'm undroppable for my club, and I'm undroppable for my country. I don't care.
And that's not a really healthy dynamic, is it? You know, if you can go into games knowing that your place is assured, you're not going to give your best performance. I don't care who you are. You have to give your best if you know your place is up for grabs if your performance dips. Simple as that.
I think at one point, Gates, in the first half, Harry Kane was level with Rice, getting the ball off Rice. He's your fucking centre forward. What are you doing?
Do you know how many touches he had in the first half? Harry Kane. Do you know how many touches he had in the first half?
3 or 4?
He had 10. He had 10 touches in the first half, right? Also, just to put a little bit more meat on the bones, he made 5 passes, 2 of which were successful in that first half.
Oh.
I'll just leave that there. Not only that, it just to sort of like take it forwards into the second half, he finished stats. He had 19 touches in the whole match. Yeah. His pass accuracy was something like 64%, if I remember correctly. I mean,
oh,
no, he's frozen. No, is he frozen?
You know, his after Harry Kane was the goalkeeper, right? And the only person that had less touches of the ball than Harry Kane was Marcus Rashford, who came on in the 73rd minute for Harry Kane.
Yeah.
So effectively, we've played Scotland with 10 men. You know, with that level of performance.
Yeah, we had nothing up front. Let's not kid ourselves around. We had no striker. None.
But and this is what will happen. He will play the next match. It's obvious, you know, be obvious to a dead hamster that he should be dropped, but he won't be.
Of course he won't.
And that is where, and we wonder why we don't win tournaments, because we play players that are out of form.
Yeah, we've done it with. Sorry, Steve. We've done it with Rooney and Owen in tournaments, coming back from an injury, and look what happened. It's a disgrace. It's ego and the top 6 club, and to be honest, I bet Man City are loving this Harry Kane's form. They're probably going to bid less money because they'll go, look how shit he is. Yeah. If he went there and tear it up, Tottenham will ask for more money. I bet Daniel Levy's shitting himself now.
Yeah. But Steve, it said words and pictures saying you've gone a little bit quiet. Have you got a volume or has your microphone moved?
Yeah, it's up high. Is that any better?
I'll wait for the people. I can hear you, but
right, okay.
Words and pictures send also happy saying that you've gone a bit quiet their end.
Oh, sorry guys, that's as loud as it can go, but sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, Harry Kane was just totally anonymous. I'm just sort of, you know, this, I don't know if anybody's interested in this. Expected goals is always a stat that I've never really understood. 1.6 expected goals against 0.7 for Scotland. But who was it? I think, was it you, Steve, that said about Scotland played in a very West Ham style?
No, that was Andy.
Andy, sorry, do apologise. Yeah. In the, you know, they had the less possession, but with the less possession, they managed to carve out more opportunities. And actually, the best opportunity of the match, in my view, the save from O'Donnell from Jordan Pickford.
And Adams is at Shea Adams.
Yeah, but he didn't wrap his foot around it. That sort of like when, you know, I'm talking like one that made the goalkeeper at least, you know, earn his money. But Yeah, yeah, I'm with you, Happy. I've got him as my top goal scorer, so I think I've done my money. Mind you, I did have a little side bet with I've got Romelu Lukaku as well as a backup, so
But
always have a backup.
do you know who really frustrated me yesterday, from an England perspective, was fucking John McGinn. He's like a fucking Jack Russell, isn't he? He's just,
You'd love him at West Ham.
oh mate,
Oh, yeah.
I would, but like to play against, he's like napping all the time, and yeah, no, he's a good player, but he's just so frustrating when you're playing against when you're playing against him. But no, yeah, Scotland's. I'm not making excuses, but how many flipping fouls were called yesterday with the ref as well? It was like any touch and all that. He didn't really let the game flow either. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's the table, and it's still on a knife edge. I mean, I think it's the worst that we're going to achieve is third. Fourth, we're not going to finish bottom, but there's no guarantees that finishing third would go through because there's 6 groups, isn't there? And it's the 4 best teams, isn't it, out of the 6 third place teams that go through. So there's no guarantees that even if we finished third would be enough.
The only way they can play it, Gatesy, is Southgate play for a draw. If we're not going to win,
you can't play for a draw. It's dangerous.
Well, no, you never know. You never know with Gareth, do you?
Oh no! Please, just don't do it.
If you play for a draw, you both go through, didn't you?
Yeah, but thing is, then what is he going to sort of like pull the Czech manager to one side and sort of it's not going to happen. He has to sort of play for the win. There's no other way. There's no other way. You can't play for a draw. That is too dangerous a game.
Yeah.
To be fair, the Czech Republic have got a striker in full.
Yeah.
Haven't they? We haven't.
Yeah. But no, it was really, really disappointing. But we've got to go again against the Czech Republic. They're not going to make it easy. They're sitting there on the top of the table. They're going to want to stay there. National pride and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I know.
But
what should we do? Gatesy? Is it too early to do the player ratings and maybe chat in between how crap each player was? Or is that too early?
No, we can do that quite happily. So let's start with Jordan Pickford, shall we?
Yeah. Who's going first?
Go on, I'm going to give him an 8 because without him we'd have lost.
Yeah. Steve, just before I go too much further, you might want to turn your attention to the private chat.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay. Right. Jordan Pickford.
Steve said an 8, didn't he?
8. Yep.
Yeah.
So, Milesy.
I'm going to give him a 9 because if it wasn't for him, we would have lost.
Yeah.
The save, I thought he commanded his box. He's been very. I sort of said this the other day, didn't I, Gatesy? When he plays for Everton, he's totally different when he plays for England. Do you see what I mean? Like he commanded his box. I think the crossing, what they were doing from corners was ridiculous. Like the amount of whip and stuff, and he was just commanding his box, going between them. And the good thing, I know modern goalkeepers don't catch no more, but all of his punches went out of the box, didn't they? Do you know what I mean as well? So no, for me, yeah, I'm going to give him a 9.
Yeah. I'd probably say. See, I'm going to go an 8, and but I would say that's an 8 with a capital E, not a small e. An 8 plus.
Yeah.
I don't think
we're not doing halves. We're not doing halves.
No, I mean, he made. From memory, he made that one save, which was a cracking save. Let's not muck about. But did he really have to do much? Any other proper saves? No. I mean, if he didn't make that save, then it's a completely different game. But I mean, for me, for him to get a 9, then I think he would have had to have made at least another 1 or 2 saves to sort of like push that into a 9, in my opinion. But it's an 8+, because I can't. We're going to go with Gio's mantra. We're not going to have half marks, so we'll go with. I'll go with an 8, but it's a solid. It's an A+, an 8+ rather than an 8-. Reece James, Steve.
Oh, difficult. Let me have a think. Let Andy go first on that one.
Okay.
Oh, thanks. 4.
Yeah.
He's only getting a 4 because I would have gave him a 3 if he didn't do that headed clearance, because I don't think it was going in. But fair play to him. He got his head in the way for that, and his cross for Harry Kane. But apart from that, he was invincible. Invisible, sorry, not invincible. Invisible.
I was going to say it's a little bit harsh. He's invincible. I'm giving him a 4.
Bit tight, but yeah, no, 4 for me.
Okay, mate, no problem. Steve.
Yeah, I'll go with a 4 as well. I mean, the clearance off, he didn't know it wasn't going in, so he's cleared it.
Yeah, he's done his job.
Yeah, but it was a performance, really, wasn't it? It was.
Didn't really offer the width, did he? As I said earlier about the fullbacks, neither of them seemed to be pushing on. And you know, like I say, you've got 2 guys that are by trade holding midfielders. So that's the whole point of having 2 holding midfielders, is your fullbacks can bomb on with a little bit of security, that you've got the 2 guys that are sitting there shielding the 2 centre backs. The 2 fullbacks can push on and offer that width, but they never did it.
Do you reckon with James? I know I'm trying to make excuses for him as well, because I actually am a fan of his. Where he's used to playing in a back 5, so he's got more license to go forward, maybe as well.
No, maybe.
I'm trying to be positive.
I think that's an excuse, if I'm being honest. I think he, you know, whether he's playing in a back 4 or a back 5, I think he's good enough to be pushing on and offering that width, and why he did. And I'm not being, like I say, again, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't want to come across as a bitter, arrogant Englishman that's moaning because we didn't get the result. No, but as I say, fundamentally, you know, I know possibly he might have been, you know, out of the 2 fullbacks, he might have had the short straw, because obviously he's up against Tierney and Robertson, who are 2 of their better players. But even so, it's like, have a go. He didn't look like he was sort of like he was really sort of bothered about sort of really testing their left side of their defence, you know, and really sort of getting forward and testing them.
So if he wants to do rotation, it would have made sense for Walker to play again yesterday and James to play against Czech Republic then. Because I think Walker would have been more effective going forward than him. I think Walker's got the pace and energy and experience. He knows when to bomb forward and when not to. And I think James sort of shows his how old is he? 22. So he's not old, is he? I know he's got a few games under his. So yeah, that's the only thing I can say on that front as well. But like I said, I don't want to come across too negative. But if we try and be positive, that's just me being a plastic fan. I can't be a plastic fan. So
yeah, I mean,
what about you?
Happy's just sort of made the comment here. Do we honestly think that the way they played was because they all did what some mouse men asked them of them, or is it something else? Pfft, who knows? Who knows? I mean, for me, I'd go with James. I'd give him a 5, and probably the 5, the extra point is for the headed clearance, as you say. He didn't know if it was going wide or not. He did his job. That's fine, but just getting forwards. Nothing to really test Robertson and Tierney. You know, if he'd have got forward a bit more, I just very, very disappointed, because again, like you, Andy, I'm a fan of James. I think he's an exciting right back, and I think potentially he could be the England right back for many, many years to come if he plays his card right and with a bit of luck. But yeah, maybe he should have brought a few more right backs, you know. He does seem to like a right back, to be fair. Let's go with John Stones. Steve, your thoughts?
I'll give him a 5.
Okay.
I mean, he wasn't superb, but he did it at the post, which was about the most exciting thing that happened in the first half for us. Yeah, I'll give him a 5. I don't think it certainly wasn't spectacular, but I don't think he was awful either. It was just sort of, well, he was there, he did a job, nothing more, nothing less, really. So it's 5 from me.
Milesy?
I'm gonna have to give him a 6 because he was better than average. I'll give 5 as an average. He tried to make things happen in the. He tried to run with the ball in the end because he had no other option. Fair play to him. I know he lost the ball a couple of times trying to run into the midfield to try and like speed us up. A lot of their Scotland's threat come from the right hand side, so you can't really say many stuff went past him. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 6, just above average.
I'd agree with you on that. I think he was above average, not brilliant, not sort of like too much to shout about, and putting it in context again, really he should be able to cope. He's a 50-60 million pound centre back.
Yeah.
You should be able to cope with the greatest of respect with what Scotland had to offer, in their front line, which, with the greatest of respect, Lyndon Dykes and Shea Adams, they're decent. But if you're a 50-60 million pound centre back, then you should be able to put them in your back pocket and deal with them without having to think too much about it, shouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I missing something?
No, 100%, mate.
So, so I'd say he was a 6. He did his job fairly effectively, but just not sort of like all that much in my opinion. Anyway, move on to his centre back partner.
Gatesy, sorry, people in the chat as well say their ratings as well.
Yeah.
If you agree or disagree, yeah.
Yep. Give us your ratings, guys. Don't just sit on the fence. Yeah, Mr. Mings, Andy.
I'm going first. Nice. I'm going to give him a 6 as well. I'll give him a 6 as well. He didn't really do much wrong, really. Commanded his box again. The one thing I never realised. I realised it at Bournemouth, but he sort of lost it when he had that injury. But he seems to be so fit. His pace off the line, I think that goes very unnoticed in my opinion. And because obviously we're West Ham as well. You don't see many left-footed centre backs in the Premier League either, and that could. I thought he commanded his box well. I think Mings probably feels more comfortable with Trippier there. I'm not just saying that because of how bad we played, but I think he feels more confident. Shaw's had a good season, but the amount of space he has for Man United, he's not really put under pressure, really, is he? So yeah, I'm going to give him a 6.
I think he was better than Stones. I think I'm going to give him a 7. I think he did his job very effectively. And actually, there was something I come across a little bit earlier, and I didn't realise this. He's had 12 international caps in the games that he's played. We've kept 10 clean sheets.
Oh wow!
I didn't realise that. It's quite an interesting statistic. Now, here's the thing: if Harry Maguire's fit for the next game, I personally wouldn't bring him. This is my opinion. I wouldn't bring him straight back in. No. I mean, we've to be fair, we've kept 2. I know we're moaning about the Scotland result, and rightly so. But if we're looking at what the defence's job is, well, the defence's job is to keep the ball from going in the back of our net. Well, so far we've got 2 clean sheets.
Yep.
So why would you change the back line just to?
He's going to change.
He's going to. We know he's going to. But again, he's
and
I think
I don't want to.
Excellent.
I
think he was one of the best players on the pitch last night for us.
Yeah, I don't want to come across thingy, but I hope it doesn't cost us in a result. But I want Maguire to come in and fuck up so bad. I really do. just to laugh in Southgate's face. I really do. I just hope he gets proved wrong again. In my opinion.
Yeah, the only thing is I don't want him to cock up to the extent where we go out of the tournament by his mistake.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. But I want him to like if I want the result. If we get the result, but I still want him to like make a mistake or play badly just to prove it in Southgate's face. Because in my opinion, he shouldn't even be in the fucking squad, let alone the starting 11.
How about yourself, Steve?
Mings, yeah, I'd have given him a 6. I thought he was better than Stones. Very solid. Again, not spectacular, but one of the better players on the pitch for England. And, you know, the team he plays for at club level, it's a much bigger jump up than it is for John Stones. So, yeah, I think he did well, to be honest. And I would have him at the back for the next game. I certainly wouldn't swap him out for Maguire. Even though I think it will happen. You know,
and there's that stat. Just got it up on screen there. 12 England caps, 10 clean sheets, only 1 goal conceded from open play. And should Harry Maguire come straight back into the team? No.
I don't think Harry Maguire is I don't think he's brilliant anyway. I think he's decent.
No, I think he's better than what people give him credit for. I'll be honest. I don't think he's the next Bobby Moore or Franz Beckenbauer. He's decent enough.
No, I can't see the fascination in him in Gatesy. I'm going to disagree
I know
with
you're
you.
not a fan. I know you're not a fan.
He just reminds me of Haley from Coronation Street, so I can't take him seriously with that Barnet either.
Oh, God.
It's a bit harsh on Haley, isn't it?
Yeah. What's she ever done?
Yeah, exactly. We're not having Haley hating, are we, on the channel? Surely not.
Oh, no, we don't do hate.
With no, absolutely not.
I only give facts.
Andy. Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. What did the Romans ever
Shots
do?
fired.
But no, I'm 100% with Andy on this. I don't think Maguire's very good at all. I never have, but you know, I'm not the England manager. But if I'd been picking the squad, he wouldn't have made it.
Fair enough. Luke Shaw, Steve.
Difficult. Really difficult. 5 again. Nothing spectacular about where I'd expect him to be. I mean, we're going quite hard on the defence, but let's be fair. They did keep a clean sheet. Sometimes more by luck than judgment, and a good save by Pickford. But that's not the area of the pitch. I was less disappointed in our defence than I was the rest of the pitch. And some of the marks I'm going to give later will make 5 look like a cornucopia of points. You know, so I'll give him 5.
Spoiler.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh dear. Milesy, sure.
I'm really sure about this one. I'm going to give him a 4.
Okay.
I didn't think he had a great game. I thought, is it McDonough? Is it who was their right back or right wing back? What's his name? The one who had the chance.
Is it O'Donnell?
O'Donnell, not McDonald.
Yeah.
Oh, McDonald. Yeah. Well, yeah. I thought he had the better of Shaw all game, and I was fearing the worst. He had the better of him. He looked like Luke Shaw from the overweight Luke Shaw from 2 years ago, not the Luke Shaw who's played for Man United all season. So I'm going to be quite nice as well. I'll give him a 4.
Yeah, I think he was no better, no worse than Reece James. So I'm going to give him a 5. And as Neil says, to be fair, he was trying. It wasn't working fundamentally, but he was having a go. In all fairness to him, but
yeah.
I'd say he was no worse, no better than the guy that was playing on the flank opposite. So since I've given Reece James a 5, I'm going to have to be fair and give Shaw a 5. So now we move into the midfield. Declan Rice.
Oh,
And
Who's
you're not
going
looking at
first?
this as a West Ham fan. Just to clarify,
Yeah.
you're not looking at this as a West Ham fan, guys. We need to be take
Yeah,
the
no.
sort of partisan
Yeah,
out
yeah,
of
no,
it
I
and
am.
judge him on yesterday.
Uh,
Go for it,
right,
Marzi.
5.
Okay.
I think that's probably not just his worst game for England, but his worst game for the season. I thought he was, like you said, he was.
To be fair, Shaw does. Shaw's always looked a little bit of a chunky lad.
No, but
I don't think
he looked like Mido a couple of years ago when he played for us. That's what he looked like with that beer belly. But yeah, no, no.
there's nothing wrong with the beer belly, Andy.
Well, it is when you're an athlete, Steve.
Oh yeah, but I'm not an athlete.
Oh, I've got more than a beer belly. No,
it's a barrel.
Yeah. A yard.
Yeah.
A yard.
Well, as someone said to me once, what happened to your six-pack? I said it turned into a barrel.
Yeah. He's big. Yeah, as Neil says, big boned. Yes, that's the one. Big boned. Thanks, Neil. You got us out of trouble.
Heavily built.
Yeah. Broad shoulders.
But no, I'm gonna give Deck a 5. He done his job on one aspect, but he was very ineffective going forward. He wasn't at his game as well. Like, do you know, like
really,
normally, do you know, like for West Ham and in other England games, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna take a couple of touches, I'm gonna look for a pass forward. All he done was pass the ball to James or Stones or Mings, really, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not too sure he was the best player on the pitch. Happy, I respect your opinion, and no problem. But I don't think he was the best player on the pitch. Certainly, you know, if we're talking, you know, England and Scotland, was he the best player on the pitch? No. For me, that was Billy Gilmore. He was the best player on the pitch. If we're talking best England player,
Pickford.
I think I'm probably going to have to go Pickford. Yeah, I'm going to have to go Pickford because I think without his save we lose the game.
Yeah,
you know, but there you go. Anyway, Steve, your mark for Declan Rice.
Oh, it pains me to say this, but a 4.
Oh, brutal.
I thought for Deck, and I mean, looking at it without a West Ham hat on, and it's excruciating to give him this score. But I just thought he was ineffective. Now, I think one of the reasons he was ineffective was because that's what he was told to do.
Yes.
So the 4 is more reflective on what he was told to do rather than the contribution he made. And
Happy's not happy. Happy's not happy with your mark, Steve.
Sorry,
she's going to hunt you down.
Yeah, well, I will get somebody to nail me to a wall or something later. But no, I was more frustrated for Deck because I think he had so much more to offer, and he wasn't allowed to. And the score of 4 is a result of what he was told to do, not what he could do. So that's why I'm giving him that mark.
Yeah. Yeah, we're sorry you're unhappy, Happy, but
sorry, Happy. Yeah.
But I'm probably going to
beat myself with sticks or something later.
I'd probably say a 5. I think that the Declan Rice that I saw last night is not the Declan Rice that I've seen for West Ham over the last however many seasons, you know, in central mid. And I can only conclude, as you guys, it must be that he was under orders from Southgate to fulfill that particular role. And he's been told, you don't go on marauding runs, you sit, you shield, and you let Mount and you let Phillips make the marauding runs. You just make the interceptions, make the tackles, win the ball and move it on. And that's your job. You stay 10, 15 yards in front of the back 4, no more, no less. Done. And in fairness, he did that. But, you know, I know that Declan Rice can offer so much more. We all do. You know, we've seen it for the last 2-3 years. That was not him. So it must have been under orders from Southgate. And as Happy says, surely he gets a point for following the rules. Maybe, but I'm going to go 5. I'm not going to be as harsh as Steve Happy. So hopefully I've not sort of like made you that unhappy. Hopefully
we're not doing peach scores. What was it, like 10 billion or whatever it was?
No. No, I mean, at some point, I mean, for me, fundamentally, what Gareth Southgate told him to do fundamentally wasn't working. And I just think sometimes as a professional player, especially when you're good enough to have been picked for your national team in a major international tournament, the game isn't going your way. I think as a professional footballer, even despite what your manager has told you, if there's sort of 20 minutes to go or something like that, 20, 30 minutes to go, you're 0-0 in a game that, all right, a point's not the end of the world, but in the context of the opposition that's ahead of you and the history of the opposition, all the rest of it, you want to win that game. Let's not muck about. If that was a friendly, you want to win that game. And there are no friendlies between England and Scotland. There aren't. I think at some point you have to just go and listen, guys. It's before 9 o'clock. I'm going to say it. I'm going to swear. At some point you just have to go bollocks. I'm just going to screw the rules. I'm going to now start playing my natural game. I'm now going to start going on a few marauding runs, and let's see what happens. And he only did that right at the very end. By then it was too late. So I'm going to give him a 5. So Matt Phillips, Steve.
Oh, let Andy go first on Matt.
Okay.
I'll probably give him a 5 again.
Yep.
What did they say Matt Face call him again? A Yorkshire Perlo. More like a Yorkshire Terrier. Fucking didn't do nothing really, but the midfield was just too congested, wasn't it? It was too congested.
Yeah, massively.
He didn't know what to do, and that's not being disrespectful to him. But the one thing what you can't take away from him was his effort. And to be fair, you said Deck played by the rules. I don't think Phillips did. Phillips just played his own game, and Deck should have done the same. I think that may have been a difference, but I'm going to give him a 5 because he didn't actually do anything wrong, but he
didn't
done his
influence
best.
the game that much in a positive fashion, but he didn't sort of like he worked hard, but what else? So Steve.
For consistency, he gets a 4 as well. I just thought the midfield were woeful. So,
okay,
I don't see how I can give him a higher mark than Deck because I don't think he was better than Deck. So 4 it is.
Yeah, and I'm going to go the same. Work on the same theory that I don't think he was better or worse than Declan Rice. And if I've given Declan Rice a 5. I've got to give Phillips a 5, haven't I? If that's the way I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
I just look at Rice and I look at Phillips in that last game in the game yesterday against Scotland, and I know that they've got so much more. They're quality players. That's why they're there. Why on earth has Gareth Southgate picked players on the basis of their performances for their clubs over the Premier League season, and then trying to get them to play them in a different way? For me, you've picked them on the basis of their skill set and what they've offered over a 38-game Premier League season, and then you're telling them to do something that's completely different to what they've offered that got them in the squad in the first place.
Yeah.
Why? Just, you just tell them to go out there and listen, you're a top quality player. You're an England international. Do what's got you here in the first place. Don't change. But the pair of them just looked like they were under orders to sort of play in a certain fashion, and it stunted them massively. But look who's just turned up.
Yo, why is he changing? What up, Mozzie? Mozzie's in the building. Mozzie's in the building.
Rah, rah, rah.
Pete.
Yo,
Right.
why did
We're gonna-
why hold on just quick. Why when
Yep.
through the whole qualifiers was he playing 3 at the back and now he decides to play 4? Like we gel better
Makes
with
no
3
sense.
backs and 2 wing backs all day long. If he wants to put 2 up in front of them and then basically like on 5-2, what is it? 5-2. It would be 5-2-1, wouldn't it? It'd be a 5-2-1, wouldn't it? No.
I was
Would
going to
it?
say not quite. I
No,
hope
what would it
not.
be?
Players.
6-7. It was 5-2. It was 5-3-2. 5-3-2. And you know what? Put Calvert-Lewin up with Kane, because Kane,
Yeah.
that's not Kane. That's a lookalike. That's a crash test dummy, dog. That's not Kane. It's his evil twin, man. That's not him. It's not
I'm
him.
not
I
even
don't
too
know
sure
what.
he was as effective as a crash test dummy Peach, to be perfectly honest, on the basis
That's what
yesterday.
I'm
But we'll come to that.
saying.
We'll come to that.
Sorry, go on.
So anyway, right. We've done Phillips, haven't we?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're on
Mount
Mason
next.
Mount now. I'll tell you what, Pete.
What's up,
since you just
Steve?
rocked up,
Hi,
Mason
Pete.
Mount marks out of 10 for yesterday.
Mason Mount.
Yeah.
Mason Mount out of 10. It's not a
Yeah.
number. It's a name. Grealish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair
it's
enough.
Grealish. Foden, Sterling, Grealish. I want to see that. I want to see that, man. And Kane, you know what? Maybe just to kick him up the backside, let Calvert-Lewin start. And so when Kane comes on, he knows he's gonna have to do something, man.
Mm.
Fair enough. Steve?
3. I thought he was awful.
Oh!
Good boy,
I thought
Steve.
he was- I thought he was terrible yesterday. I thought he wandered, like Andy said earlier, I think he wandered around the pitch, thought he could do whatever he wanted, and was
Yeah.
pretty useless. So 3.
Wow, that is harsh.
But
Three.
Steve makes sense. It was like he was having a
Oh,
walk
there
in the
you go.
park. It's like he was having a walk in the park, Steve. Like,
He had that chance in
honestly.
the first half that he put past the post, and didn't he force the goalkeeper into a save in the second?
Yes. If
Yeah,
that
but that's not enough.
No, it's not. It's not, especially when you're one of the best strikers in Europe. And if Stones put that chance in, it would have been a totally different match. It would have been a totally different match, man.
Malsey? Mason Mount? Is he a 3?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Ooh.
I thought he didn't
Wow.
do nothing. He didn't do nothing. And in my opinion, Foden should have went into Mount's position, and Mount should have been off.
Yeah.
Foden should have stayed on.
100%. He was like one of the best players on the pitch, if you want to call it the best, but because we were all shit yesterday, but he was actually doing something.
I'm gonna buck the trend here. I'm gonna give him a 6 because I think he was better than the other two midfielders. I
What?
seriously do. I do. That's my opinion. I think he was better than
Okay.
Rice and Phillips.
And
I've given them a 5. So
And you were watching the same game, England v
Yeah.
Scotland. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, just checking,
Yeah.
just
Well,
checking.
listen,
Just checking.
like I say, he had that chance in the first half that he just steered past the post, and he forced David Marshall into a save in the second half. Yes, I'm not saying he had a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I'm not. But
Yeah.
if I'm marking him by his midfield contemporaries in Rice and Phillips, and
Yeah.
I've given them a 5, I
Yeah.
believe he did more than they did. So therefore, I've got to give him a 6.
What did you did Foden? What did you give Foden?
Haven't done Foden yet. Haven't
Oh,
got to
wicked,
him.
brilliant,
Haven't got to
brilliant, brilliant, brilliant,
So,
brilliant, brilliant.
We'll come to Foden now then. Peach, Foden.
Foden for me. I think everybody got a 5 on that squad yesterday. Like Steve, I can agree. Like a 3 for Mount and that, but let's say everybody got a 5. I think the only 3 players that got more than a 5 was Pickford, Mings, and Foden. That's it. So yeah, I'll give him a 6.
Okay. Steve?
Yeah, I'll give Foden 6. I thought,
Yeah.
you know, I'm probably a bit biased because I just think Phil Foden's brilliant. But the one player I thought, if he gets the ball at his feet, something might happen here, was Phil Foden. So I'm going to give him a 6 because during the game I was just pinning my hopes on him. really.
Yeah.
So six for me.
Yeah. Good boy.
Milesy?
I'm going to give him a 5.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm giving him a 5 is he shouldn't have been playing there on the right wing. We should have had someone like Sancho with pace, causing us something different, and Foden should be in the centre where he reminds me of the young Jack Wilshere years ago, who could
Yep.
just pick the ball up in the middle of the pitch and just drive at the defenders, and he didn't have that opportunity. But that is also because of Robinson and Tini. They kept him quiet. So yeah, I'm going to give him 5.
Yeah, I think 5 as well. Again, I think that possibly it's a little bit harsh, but again, I'm measuring him against what I know he's capable of. I
Yeah.
know he's capable of an exceptional level of performance, and I didn't see it yesterday. I seriously didn't. I think he was bang average. I think he was he could offer so much more. I think that Phil Foden could seriously be anything he wants to be if he's got sort of luck with injuries and all the rest of it. He literally has the world at his feet. But as far as last night was concerned, I thought he was bang average.
Did you agree with the substitute?
I think he's a quality player.
Did you agree with the substitute? I didn't.
Which one?
Foden for Grealish, I think it was, man. I think that should have been Mount.
No, I do agree with it because, as I say, I think that Mount.
Really?
Like I say, if I'm working on the basis that Mount was a 6 and Foden was a 5, then yes, I do agree with it.
Okay, fair play.
The only thing that I don't agree with, I've got to be honest, I think that Grealish, whoever he came on for, needed to come on half time. Well, whether it was Foden or whether it was someone else or whether there was a change of shape, for me, it clearly didn't work in the first half.
Yeah.
So I would have got him on straight at half time. Just said to him, right, you've got 45 minutes. Go out there, and I wouldn't have put him on either flank. This is just me. I wouldn't have put him wide. I'd have stuck him central. I said, free roll, go where you want.
That makes sense.
Roam,
that makes sense.
Drop
That
hand
makes
grenade.
sense. Yes. That makes sense. Man.
Give bullets to the people that are gonna sort of finish off your moves. Just dictate play. Go out there, do your thing. Instead he came on sort of for me. He came on too late. And he was sort of in a more sort of wide position and sort of cutting in. And not for me.
You're right, Gatesy, because where were we getting anywhere with Foden? He was on the right, no? Yeah, Sterling was on the left, he was on the right. Where were we getting anywhere with him on the right? You're 100% right. If Southgate, or aka Southwaste, if he put him in the middle, then Grealish could have gone out on the right. You would have had Grealish on the right, Sterling on the left, and Foden and Rice in the middle, man. Well, no, because Phillips was there, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that Neil says there about Grealish turned out to be shit. I mean, he played 20 odd minutes. It's kind of difficult to sort of judge him whether he was shit, whether he was great, whatever. But he
100.
And again, when we're sort of when it's West Ham against Aston Villa and Jack Grealish is going to the ground and getting free kicks,
I hate
we're all sort of complaining about it. We hate it.
Yeah.
But in the time he was on the pitch yesterday, and I put it on one of the things earlier, he drew 4 fouls.
I know. He's good at doing it. But I just don't like it when he does it against us.
Yeah. But when he does it for England, we all go, fantastic.
Hooray! Yeah.
we're fickle beasts. We're football fans. We're fickle. So
go to the ground. Go to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Win a free kick. Win a penalty. Sort of thing. And I agree with Happy. I think he needs to start the next game. That's my opinion.
Oh,
but I think again he's in danger.
Yeah.
If he keeps sort of being on the bench, at some point his confidence is just going to be through the floor because he's just going to be like, well, this manager doesn't rate me. But that's my opinion anyway. So we was talking about Mount. So we'll go with Sterling next.
Yes.
So how about you, Peach?
Oh man, the Tyrannosaurus Rex didn't show up last night, man. 5 all day long.
Mm.
Yeah, he put some nice balls in. but it wasn't. It's like, you know, when he goes missing at Man City sometimes? It was like one of those matches.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve, yourself?
Yeah, I go with Peach. Actually, a 5. He wasn't
Wicked.
awful. He wasn't great. He tried hard at parts in the first half, but there was nothing spectacular. But he was a damn sight better than Kane. Look at it that way.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to give him a 5.
Yeah. Milesy?
3.
Mm.
Should have come off at half time.
Yeah.
He had a bit of arrogance about him as well. I'm not gonna lie. He was like, "What you gonna do, Gareth? Drop me? I scored the goal in the last game." So, no. Southgate, I said it at the start, needs to grow a pair of bollocks and start changing the top sides, the top 6 players, and tell them that they're playing shit. So yeah, I'm gonna give him a 3.
I'm going with you, Milesy. I think he was a 3. Absolutely. I thought he was shocking yesterday. And again, I'm probably, judging him by what I know he can bring to the table. I know that Raheem Sterling is a quality player, but he's been pretty poor in the last portion of the Premier League season for Manchester City, in my view. Other people might disagree, but I don't think that Raheem Sterling contributed what he has contributed in the past. So I have to judge him on that. And as far as yesterday was concerned, I mean, I thought his place was up for grabs. And obviously he got the goal against Croatia. And I think that's essentially what kept him in. I think if he hadn't have got that goal, then it may have been that Grealish started in place of Sterling. But obviously Sterling gets the goal. So there you go. I'm going to give him a 3. And yeah. He was much worse than a 3. He got a 3 for turning up, Neil. He got a 3 for putting a shirt on, and he got a 3 for running around a bit. He got a point for doing each of those things. There's someone actually that we're about to mark that actually didn't get as good as that, but you'll find out in a minute. Peach has left the building, so we're going to carry on. Steve, the captain, the standard bearer, the goal machine, the Golden Boot winner at 2018 World Cup in Russia, Mr. Harold Kane.
Well, we looked at his stats earlier and said effectively we played with 10 men. And to be honest, if we put a crash test dummy in the middle of the pitch, at least it would have got in the way. His captain, his mental lead, by example, I'm going to give him a magnificent score of 0.
Oh!
He was appalling.
Oh! Controversy.
And I'll tell you why. Because if he hadn't been on the pitch, we wouldn't have noticed. He made no difference with his presence at all. To get a mark, you have got to do something that contributes. And he didn't. Nil points. Set him up for
Neil agrees with you.
Song Contest. Yeah, set him up for the Eurovision Song Contest. He can be our next entrance. But what difference did he make? Nothing. You could, as I said, if you put a crash test dummy on there, it would have had more contribution because people would have had to run round it. Harry Kane was useless last night, and he should not have played. Yeah, he should have been bought off after 20 minutes with that performance. No, 0 point for me.
Wow. Are you going to give him a minus mark, Milesy?
Yeah.
Oh, the dog's not happy with Harry Kane. Don't worry.
Yeah. I actually am, Gatesy. I'm not even lying. I'm going to give him -1. I think he was an absolute. I think he's an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace.
I didn't realise we could give minus points.
But I am, Steve. Do you know why? Because when he walked off that pitch, he was like, "You're taking me off? Really? No, fuck off."
Yeah, true.
That's the most I've seen him move on.
Oh, wow! Wow!
That's the most I saw him walk. Was it when he come off the pitch all game? Fuck off, Harry.
Can I
I-
remind
Dude,
you, scored down, he's got a point.
we're being the royal family and fucking him off.
Oh, do you know what? I can't give him a minus. I can't, and I can't give him a 0. I have to give him something. I'm going to give him a 1. I'm going to give him a 1 for. I don't
So-
listen. I don't think that he didn't try. I seriously don't. I think he tried his best, but his best was clearly not good enough last night. I can't give him a 0 because for him,
Gatesy.
you know, I know what you're saying, Steve, crash test dummy and all that, but like I say,
What did Steve get? Oh, what did
So-
Steve give him? Harry Kane we're talking about. I'm assuming, right?
0, Peach.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I give him a -0 straight up. Well, zero to agree with you, but then -0 just because like he was absolute bollocks.
So across the four of us, Harry Kane has got an aggregate score of 0.
Do you know what? Do you know what? It might. I was his fan, but I would have preferred Haller last night than Kane.
Oh,
Yes,
Wow.
Miles. Yes.
That's
That gets
harsh.
that gets that
harsh.
all day long.
Like I say, I can't give
love it.
someone. I can't give someone 0 that. Like I say, I don't doubt that Harry Kane tried his hardest. I don't doubt that Harry Kane is proud to be England captain and tries his best. But last night it just didn't.
No, it didn't work out.
Like I
Did
say,
it? No.
19 touches in the whole match.
Was any
Yeah.
of them in
And
the box?
63%. He had one touch in
One,
the box.
yeah.
One of 19 touches was in the box.
De-
You're the
Deck had
number
more
9,
than-
for Christ's sakes.
Deck had more than him in the 90th minute. He had 2 touches when he had
Yeah.
that chance.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, yeah.
Zero's generous.
That says it all. That says it all. But like I
Zero
say, I
is
just
very
can't-
generous.
I can't
Zero is
give him
very
a 0, for Christ's sakes. Just can't.
Can we mark Gareth?
Anyway.
Can we mark Gareth?
Oh, negative
Oh,
a million.
Yes.
Negative
Yes.
a million.
Well, that's Peach's. That's Peach's mark. -1 million. Steve, are you going to go lower than that?
He is.
No.
He is.
No. I'm sticking with 0. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to destroy the guy too much, but 0 is exactly what he gave to the side last night.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm marking him on his contribution, which was nothing.
0. Yeah.
So when we've said if Kane, even with Kane on the pitch, it was effectively 10 men against 11, it's got to be a 0.
Yeah.
Surely.
Mosey?
Because he wasn't, effectively, he didn't play.
I'm giving them a 1 for bringing Grealish on. Otherwise, it would have been a 0.
Oh, well done, Mozzie. Well
Oh,
done,
sorry, we're
son.
talking about
Well
Southgate.
done.
Yeah.
No, Southgate. Oh, I thought we were still on Kane. Sorry, lads. Southgate.
He gets a
I'll give
0
him-
and all. He gets
No,
a 0.
Southgate, I'll give him half a mark because he had a particularly
No,
nice waistcoat on.
not half marks. No,
Oh.
Steve,
One,
No,
one for the
not a half mark.
waistcoat. One for the
no
waistcoat.
half masks. You know the rules.
One for the waistcoat. I love it.
Neil, I'm
Oh,
gonna tag them all in after this.
yeah,
Oh.
we should. So I'm going to give Southgate the same mark that I gave Kane. I can't give him a 0 because it's like because he turned up. He turned up. He gets a point for turning up. I'm generous. Sorry, but other than that, he must have set the team up to play like that. He must have. Like I say, I come back to
100.
Declan Rice. Declan Rice did not play like Declan Rice of West Ham. He's played that role because he's been told by the manager,
Yes.
this is what I want you to do. But you've picked the guy on the basis, again, I say it again, you've picked him on the basis of what he has shown in the Premier League this season, which is, yes, he's a shield for the back line, but he can also, he's not just a shit. He's not like Claude Makelele. Claude Makelele back in the day for Chelsea, Real Madrid, France, and all the rest of it. He was just a shield. He'd win the ball and give it to the players that were a little bit in advance of him. And he'd never be more than about 15, 20 yards in front of the back four. That was him. Done.
Yeah.
Declan Rice is that, but he also will go on marauding runs forwards. We didn't see that yesterday until the very, very end. Now, for me, that has to come from the manager. That has to be the manager saying to him, you are a shield. That's it. The other two are the ones that are going to maraud forwards. So he's like, okay, that's the job you want me to do. I think if he had a bit more experience, don't forget Declan's still quite young and he's still in, in terms of his sort of like his England career, he's still in his infancy. He's still finding his way. Maybe he didn't have confidence to do something that maybe a slightly more established player, someone that's got maybe a few more caps, a few more years of, being an England international under his belt, might have actually sort of like had the confidence to just go, fuck it. I'm actually going to now start bombing on because this is not working. What the gaffers said, it ain't working. So bollocks. I'm now going to take this game by the scruff of the neck. I'm now going to start playing like me, not like Gareth Southgate wants me to be. I'm going to be me because this is what's got me here. This is what got me picked in the squad, playing this way. And if this is not the way that Gareth Southgate wants me to play, why did he fucking pick me?
Yeah. And Gatesy, he's good at galloping forward. We've seen him do it at West Ham. Like, when he gallops forward, he looks brilliant. Like, that's a part of his game. And Southgate's just told him, sit deep, sit deep, sit deep. I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing.
the
way...
I'm
just looking at this comment from Luke. It's about right, actually.
Gareth Southgate is somebody I still lunch money off of in like high school, dog. Like, he looks like that. He just looks like that. Like, he's a wank, man. Like, I'm starting to turn off of him so fast.
Man, guys. He's a company man. That's why he got the job. He's a company man. Yeah. Allardyce got the pin, and nobody else wanted the job. Nobody else wanted the job, and he was the only person around. He went, I'll do it, and he's a company man because he was the FA's technical director or whatever at the time, and he was involved in this, that, and the other. So he was a convenient, person around. Like I say, company man. You mentioned him earlier. I think it was Steve, Brian Clough.
What a legend.
Gareth Southgate is the total opposite of Brian Clough. Brian Clough would sort of like tell people what he thought, and he'd ruffle feathers, and he'd get the job done. Gareth Southgate is just like, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full, sir. The FA turns around and says you've got to do this, and he'll just go, yeah, okay, that's what he is. He's like I say, he's a company man, and that's not a criticism; it's a fact. And I agree with that. Actually, he probably has a massive. That's why he's sort of but whatever.
My question is, with his teams, with the players he's picked, not one of them are playing like they do for their club. So why not pick a set of players who will do what you want them to do? Surely that is what you need to do. If you've got a system in mind that you want to play, pick the players who will play that system. Don't just pick the popular ones.
Yeah. Fuck them.
So frustrating.
And do you know the really? We're going to wrap it up a bit. We've gone a bit longer than I wanted to, but whatever. It always happens like that. Do you know the thing that really pisses me off about yesterday's performance?
What's that, Gatesy?
This didn't get any money put in the pot because they didn't score any bloody goals. They didn't score any bloody goals.
It was a $5, wasn't it, for each goal or something like that, wasn't it? Yeah,
$5 a goal. Do you know what I'm going to do?
What's that, mate?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. They had the expected goals as 1.62 for England. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sling a tenner in there because 1.62, if we round it up, that's 2 goals, right? 2 fivers, tenner. Yep. Right.
Beautiful.
It's not Isla's fault that England couldn't hit a cow's ass with a banjo. So do you know what I'm going to do, guys? Despite the fact England didn't score, She gets a tenner from me.
Brilliant.
I'll match that, Gatesy.
Good man.
Yeah, I've already said I'm going to put a fixed amount in that you know about, Gatesy, because I never know how many goals England are going to score. And
No.
if they go
Gatesy,
if they go
sorry.
over my fixed amount, I'll put the extra in.
Do you know
Fair
one
enough,
player who? Do you know one player as well who would have probably made a difference yesterday if he brought? Bear in mind we're allowed to make 5 subs. Was
Sancho?
Jude? Jude as well.
Bellingham.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
Dog
just
would have
moving
been
on
better
from
than Kane.
Yeah. Just moving on from the Forged Goal for Isla's hashtag, which, like I say, guys, if you want to get involved, as I say, if you're on Twitter, send out a tweet and tag us in it, and use the hashtag Forged Goal for Isla. Just to draw your attention to this, and those of you that have been watching this for a while know the appeal about Isla and all the rest of it. One thing I want to draw your attention to, the Just Giving page is now a different one. So again, I've changed this all. It's on the description below on Facebook and YouTube. So again, copy and paste it, put it on your social media platform. If you can put any money into the pot, please do. And like I say, you know the story with her. She's struggling with neuroblastoma, and time is of the essence. The clock is ticking, and like I say, she needs your help. She needs our help. Now, not next week, not next month, not next year, because who knows? She needs your help now. So, guys, if you want to put anything in the pot, that's where you want to go. Justgiving.com/fundraising/Roger-Waller1. So anything you can put in, guys, please do. And thank you very much indeed for your attention, as always.
And Gatesy, we're going to discuss it in our group chat. Look out for an announcement tomorrow from Forged from Iron. What's happening on Friday? So look out. Look, the announcement will be tomorrow, because I think Duke's going to do some artworky sort of thing. So yeah, we'll look out for it, guys. It's going to be fun.
I believe that.
Good.
And Gatesy, tonight we're doing that Euro 2020 vision at 10 o'clock your time,
I'll be there.
man. Oh, brilliant, man. Yeah, no, I already have. I sent you the invitation. Yep, I already have, mate. Everybody else tune in, and we're just going to be talking about predictions and what's going on as of yet, and in the Euros and 2020 vision. West Ham Random. Yeah.
I'll be there.
Nice one.
All right, guys. And as usual, if you could do us a favor, if you haven't already done so, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit the bell icon. And as and when we upload any new content on the channel, you will be the first to be notified. Only thing left to say, guys. Hang on, steady. That's how rumors start, Luke. That is how rumors start. I am a happily married man. You're a naughty man.
Yes,
Honestly.
Lukington. Yes, Lukington.
Terrible. Don't encourage him, for Christ's sake.
Oh, come on. He's a G, man. That was good.
Malsey, what do you want to say before we finish off?
West Ham are fucking massive, but England ain't.
I'd rather have it that way, to tell you the truth, Mozzie. I'd rather have it that way, but it would be nice if, England could kind of get to the same level, because, they're not on our level, dog.
Neil.
We are
Appreciate
fucking
it,
massive.
Thank you, Neil.
And Neil, tell your mates. If any of you guys want to share this video or any other of our other, streams on your social media platforms, please do. You don't need permission, just do it. Crack on. And like I say, more people we get involved, the more people we can spread the message to about Isla, and hopefully the more money gets in the pot, more awareness, yada yada yada. You know how it works. So Pete,
Gatesy,
just on YouTube.
West Ham Random. West Ham Random's in the building. West Ham Random's in the building. Blah blah blah. Ticka 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 blah la la. No, you know what? Isla looks in a better place on Twitter. She looks happy. I've been on Twitter, sharing all her stuff, and like she looks like she's in a better place than she has been before. Straight up.
Yeah.
Just an observation. I know she's probably masking, like,
Yeah.
but like it's good to see her smile, and yeah, man, it's good to see her having a bit of a laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Despite the struggles, she's always she's always sort of smiling and all the rest of it. But
Yeah. I
guys,
love that.
let's not sort of get away from the fact this little girl is.
Oh no,
struggling.
100%. Oh,
You know,
100%.
she needs our help. So please,
She
like I
is
say,
putting on a brave face. She's putting on a brave face,
Yeah.
but it's just good to see the young girl smile and look like she's having a bit of a laugh.
So West Ham random, guys. West Ham
Thank you,
random. Put that
Gatesy.
in your search on YouTube. West Ham random. It's got a
Wait.
stream tonight. 1 p.m. 10 p.m.
No, 10 p.m.
tonight.
10 p.m. and
UK
I'm
time.
looking. Yeah, 10 p.m. and I'm looking really forward to what Miles was talking about with what y'all are doing on Friday, man. I can't wait. Like, big up for it, Tremont, all day long, every day of the week. How you mean? Yo, I can't wait,
And
man.
let's
I
go.
can't wait.
Well done, Neil. Oh, is it Spain?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, no goal offside.
For who? Spain?
They've got their pens out.
For who? For Spain,
They're still,
Mozzie?
they're still celebrating.
For who?
It said VAR
Anyway.
offside. Oh,
Who
right.
scored?
gonna-
Like, for what
I'm-
team? Spain?
Dunno.
I'm gonna try and end this stream sometime before
Yeah.
sort of like stick peaches at 10 o'clock. Right,
It
guys.
is Spain playing, isn't it? It's Spain and Poland, right?
Yeah. Spain and Poland.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spain and Poland.
Oh, it had to be Spain that scored then, man. I got them winning like, 4-0, I think. Yeah, 4-0. Spain winning 4-0.
Right. Okay. So, cheers, Happy. You're a good girl. Guys, I'm going to end it there. Thanks for coming along. Tell your friends about us. Only one thing left to say, guys.
Come on, you
Come on,
Come
you
on,
Lions.
Lions.
Come on, you
And come
Lions.
on, England. Pick
Come
up
on,
the
you
top.
3 Lions.